Well, hello everybody. This is Falcon with a nice tutorial for you about Paint.net. Well, first here you'll see that we have the obvious open or new file, open file, save buttons. And that's just generic. Print. By the way, all files are saved in a Paint.net format, which will not be able to be opened by other programs. So if it's saved into a PDN and you want to open it somewhere else, make sure you save it as a PNG. Um, you have the effects tab at the top there. It'll have categories such as advanced, artistic, blurs, distort, noise, object, photo, render, stylized tools. You fill these up with plugins that you can get on the Paint.net forums. A really useful one would be like line object, so you don't have to manually use the line tool around an object. Adjustments, you have stuff like brightness, so if you want to make your picture brighter, black and white, pretty much all self-explanatory there. Um, we have the color palette over here, and you can actually manually insert a hex ID. And a cool trick is if you right click when you brush, it'll do the secondary color. So if I make the secondary color red and I right click, it'll be red. And this will turn on grid mode, which allows you to see pixel by pixel. This turns on rulers, so you can see where you are approximately. You have undo and redo, copy and paste tools up here, brushed with, tool type. So now to look at the toolbar, you have your select, move pixels. Two different types of move tools. One move tool will move around the pixels, the other will move around the actual object. You have ellipse select for more precise selecting. You have circle select for selecting round objects. You can use this to zoom in. You have your magic wand, which will select everything of the same color. So say we draw something here, and we want to select it all. You just click on it. Then you have your paint, fills the whole thing up. Gradient will, so with gradient, it'll create an effect where it fades from one color to another using the primary and secondary colors on the color palette. Brush is just generic, you draw with it. Eraser erases what you draw. Pencil is a more precise pixel by pixel drawing tool. And the dropper will select a color. So say we draw an object and then use this to figure out what that color is. Stamp tool, you can stamp objects. Line tool is probably the most useful. You can create curves and such. And you can actually change how the line looks using this up here. Usually, like if you're doing a jersey or something, you'll use that for lining or stitching or whatever you may do. You have objects. You can obviously make objects and do the same thing you do with lines. And then you also have your text tool, type in text, install fonts here. Pretty much normal text editor stuff. And over in the right corner, you have your history, which allows you to go back to previous edits. And then you have your layers, which is pretty self-explanatory. And then when you're merging layers, you want to change the blending mode up here in the middle of the screen, top middle. And multiply will add the colors together. Same with additive. Color burn will make it bleed through. Color dodge will make sure everything is separate. Reflect will, as it says, reflect the previous layer. Glow will make it seep through with a glow effect. Overlay doesn't really do much. It's just normal layering. And the rest of it's just minor differences. And tricks are like if you select, you can color an object with backspace. So yeah, that's pretty much all that Paint.net really has to offer us for beginner tools. And really, I mean, you can explore all these other tools on your own. There's way too many here to explain in a video, but I can, but you can install plugins to get even more, so just kind of mess around with some of those, but that was just a general tutorial of all the tools, and this is just episode 1. We'll get more in depth in the next one. Bye.